So this is a Swift Archway Hartwell. I'm going to take you around the van, show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you have two gas bottle tie downs and you have a gas regulator on the bulkhead. We do have the gas pipe available here on site should you need it, but maximum of two 6 kilogram propane gas bottles in that front locker. Coming down the side of the van you've got your water pump connection. Blue trigger back and release from the side of the caravan, and then push in and release the clip to lock it in place. Pickup pipe drops inside the act roll and it has to be fully submerged in the water prior to turning the water pump on. You then have your two wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. The two wind down legs will be wound, you'd wind them down, you'd never lift the caravan with them because you potentially damage the floor of the caravan. But like I said, just put them down to the ground so they touch and so it stabilises the van. You've then got your heating and hot water flue. Pop the cover off, as you can see, and it will really uncover the flue. You do need to make sure this cover is off prior to igniting anything on gas or using the heating and hot water systems, just so it allows the systems to breathe. So it's very much the same as the flue on the side of your house. Battery box with your mains power lead coming in, battery behind there, and your motor mover power switches, which we'll demonstrate in person. You've then got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. Behind the top cover there'll also be a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. You would never cover these up while the caravan is in operation, as it could cause a lot of heat behind the fridge. Wheel nuts and motor mover. We'll demonstrate the motor mover to you here on site, and we'll torque the wheel nuts also so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Two waste pipes going outside the van, so the fresh water that goes in the front once it's been through the sinks and the shower have to come out somewhere, and that's what these two flaps are here for. So you'll open up these flaps, have two bits of grey pipe that go into them large diameter holes, and they'll drop down inside your waste master. Coming towards the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tanks. You'll open this up and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom you've got your toilet waste cassette, so you pull up the yellow handle and pull the cassette towards you. Grey neck here turns out 90 degrees to tip the waste away. The yellow cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette you've got a yellow pressure relief button, so when you tip the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. In that cassette you need to put 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid. On the back of the van you've got two wind down legs again. We'll go through the lights once we connect it up to the car. You've got a storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear of the caravan. Wheel and motor mover again. Storage locker for underneath the front seating area. This is actually a wet storage locker, so you can put wet accessories in there, and you'll also find a 3-pin plug in there, so when you've got your awning up you can have power coming out your awning. You then got a barbecue gas point and the last of the wind down legs. Coming onto the inside of the caravan now. Now we're on the inside of the caravan, as you can see, and in the caravan you'll have some control panels in the cupboard in the wardrobe cupboard. So in here you'll see that you have a control panel here at the top that says car and van. What that essentially means is that there's a option for when you're towing the caravan down the road, which we need to have connected on the car option, and then when you're on site you have it on the van option here at the bottom. You then got your water pump switch, which I'll come back to in a moment. You have your test switch for the battery voltage on board the caravan. Then below that you have your 240 trip switches. If you hit the test switch and you've got mains power coming into the caravan, the switch will drop down like it has just done. If it doesn't drop down and it stays in its upright position, it means there is no mains power coming to the caravan from the caravan site you're on. Now at the bottom here, you've got 3 more switches. Battery charger you need to have on all times. Water heater is your electric water heating switch, so when you want to warm the water on electric, you have this switch in the down position. And if you want power going to the power control switch on the wall for the heating on board the caravan, you'll also need to have this switch in the downward position as well. So like I said, the middle switch is your electric water heating. Space heater switch is for the power going to the main control switch on the wall for the heating. And the battery charger is essential to have on to make sure the battery charges on board the van. One thing I did forget to mention, down below the trip switches, just here, you'll see there's 1, 2 or 3. And just to the left here, there is a code for each of these trip switches is for. Once you've got the power on inside the van and you've checked that you've got mains power coming in by hitting the test switch, you can come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. Underneath here you'll actually find your drain down valve for the water system. So it's just tucked just behind the pump, just there. You can just about see it, a yellow valve. So like I said, that is the drain down valve for the water system. If that valve is flat with the floor, you are able to fill the water system up. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. So flat with the floor prior to filling the system up. Once that valve is flat with the floor, the yellow valve, you can come to every tap on board the caravan and open them all up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, I've already got water in the system. As you can see, it's spitting and splattering at the moment. The reason for that being is the water pump isn't turned on. So coming into the cupboard, turn the water pump on. Red light comes on, say it's working. And then the system will start filling up from the aqua roll on the outside. Now when the system's full, you'll have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan. However, if the system's not full, you'll get a similar look to this, where the water sort of spits and splatters slightly, like when the water's been off at home. Then once you have got water all the way through the system, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you can start thinking about warming the water. So I've shown you the electric water heating switch, which is just on the control panel down there. It is a preset temperature on the electric setting. If you come to the gas on the opposite side of the caravan though, however, you do have an option of different temperatures for the water heating. So to ignite the water heating, you have this outer grey dial that you spin around to the flame symbol, so this little tab is pointing at it. You'll see a green light behind here, which is your pilot light, and if it fails to ignite, you'll get a red light appear. On gas though, you can control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees of temperature. We do advise when you're showering on board the caravan to use the gas as a boost for the water system. If you try doing it just on electric, it will not boost and it will not warm up anywhere near as quick as if it is on the electric, on the gas at the same time. To turn off the gas supply, you spin it back to the off position just here. Below that, you've got the ultra heat control switch. That is for your actual heating on board the caravan. Now if you haven't got that switch turned on in the cupboard, which I just showed you a moment ago, then you will have no power going to the control panel on the wall here. So to control the power supply going to the heater, again you have the outer grey dial and you've got the option of 500, 1000 or 2000 down the side here. It will depend on what caravan site you're on to what power level you set it to, and if you ask their site office when you arrive, they should be able to advise you of this. Here on site we're going to run it at 500 watts and then we control the temperature of the heating on the dial in the centre here. The higher you go with the number, the hotter the heating will be. Next up, we've got the heater itself. So you can run the heater on gas as well, as you'd expect. You can spin the dial round between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve and hit the igniter at the same time. You will need, while you're hitting the igniter switch, to keep the gas valve down, and once it has ignited and you've got a pilot light in this window down the bottom here, I would advise you hold this switch down for 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve and then control the temperature on gas on the dial on top here. On this particular caravan you have blown air heating, so you've got a fan speed control on top here on this dial on the left hand side. The dot here indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. The wave symbol is a continuous blown air option, so around the caravan you'll see there's little white vents down the bottom left hand side there. And the continuous blown air, essentially, if the heating's off, it's going to blow cool air around the van. And if the heating is on, it's going to allow the hot air to be blown around the van, a bit like you have in your car. Automatic blown air is a bit like climate control in the car. So essentially, it will cut the fans in and out as it is needed. It will only do this on a thermostat when the heating's on the thermostat on there or with the gas. When it's on the when it's on the automatic mode, like I said, it will, with that thermostat, it will cut the fans in and out. So that's your heating on board the caravan. You've then got, on the opposite side of the van, your control panel for the fridge. To turn the fridge off, you press and hold the power button, and it turns off. To turn the fridge on, you press and hold the power button. Here you have a symbol to say that you're running on mains power for the fridge, and if you're on mains or gas, you can control the fridge temperature on the button on the right hand side here. The more bars that are lit up, the colder the fridge will be. You can change the power source by hitting the grey button on the left hand side. So now we've come to 12 volt mode. Now this is not the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with. It is the 12 volt supply from the it's not the 12 volt supply from the caravan, it is the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with. So the little blue light here at the moment is indicating that we have no car connected at the front. You would need to have the car switch also flicked on inside the cupboard. But But if you are connected to the car and the 12 volt supply is correct on the car coming to the caravan, then it will actually go solid blue and you'll have no 10 or a spanner symbol in this icon. At the moment, that is just letting me know that it is not working on 12 volts. You've also got a gas option here, so you can run the fridge on gas, as you can most items. So to run the fridge on gas, you'll select the gas option. If it fails to ignite on gas, the blue light here again is going to flash, but when it is solid blue, it means it's ignited. When it fails to ignite, you're going to get a number 9 here and a spanner symbol indicating it has failed to ignite, as you can see here. Again, on gas, you can actually control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. Hob, microwave, hob, grill and oven and microwave all work very much the same as your household appliances. The only difference being, if you're not on 240 mains, you'll have no electric ring on the back of the hob here or power to the microwave. But you have got your igniter on the front for the gas, so if you're off grid, you can use the gas as a power supply or cooking method. Last thing we go through is in the bathroom. Toilet system, nice and easy to use. Electric flush on the toilet here. Toilet full indicator light that's going to illuminate when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. Toilet seat itself needs to be pointed straight across the caravan when you're emptying the toilet waste cassette. If it is turned at all, it will stop you from removing the cassette. Down below the toilet, the grey waste handle here needs to be pushed into the open position to allow the waste into the cassette, and in the closed position when the toilet waste cassette is not being used. You'll also need to have it in this position when you are tipping the toilet waste, or when you're trying to remove the toilet waste cassette to tip it away. If you don't, and you try to remove the cassette, you could potentially damage the toilet waste cassette itself, and that could also damage the bottom of the mechanism going to the handle here as well. So this is a Swift Archway Hartwell. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thank you again. Bye bye.